Shalom brothers, case of Rakam Kaposh, GMS London. Just want to start with saying all praise to Jehovah Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder GMS, and under that to the brethren in the highways and byways teaching this truth, man. Okay. This lesson is going to be entitled, Why Do Women Think They Are Equals? Because, it's evident that it's not so. Okay. No matter how much, these women want to believe that they're on an equal footing with men, or believe they should be, because it's not been set up that way. It's obvious to you shouldn't even need a trained eye, man. But women are the weaker vessel, man. Women are the lower class of human life. Okay, in terms of just physically, mentally, and everything, man. Okay, they're not being set up in a position to be above a man. Okay, that's just the way the Most High has set it. Okay, so we're gonna kick it off. We're gonna go into briefly look into some things. I bring out a few scriptures, just to show you that. Okay, because today, how we're living today, man, women want to get up all up in this world, get in them high positions and that. Really, because they want to usurp the man. Okay, they want to have power over men. Okay, something they can boast about. Which is really that's a curse, man. That's a curse that the Most High has set upon this society, man. Okay, to have men above us, man. Women above us. Okay. Actually, should have a scripture here somewhere. One second, bear with me 1 second. It's Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. Okay, let's get that up. It says here, As for my people, which is talking about the nation of Israel, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, that they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy paths. Okay, the scripture goes into a couple of things. First it mentions children. It's talking about Esau, man. Okay, because they're nothing but children, man. Okay, but that goes into our normal households, man. Children and women have been put above the man. Okay, so obviously it's talking from a man's perspective, because it doesn't mention men there. It mentions women and children. Okay, so women have been placed above us. The white man has put the woman in power, or has given them more power than the man. Okay, that's what's fucking up all these all these families, man. Okay, all this women's equal rights, which has been given to them by the so-called white man. Okay, that's what's led to the destruction of all these families. That's why families split up and shit. Okay, it's not for a woman to be above a man. Okay, but you give all these women all this power, and now they want to boast themselves against their husbands. Okay, that saying, a nigger ain't shit. Okay, so that's what's be breaking up all these families and that. I know Jake's wicked as well. Committing adultery and all that, but it was a woman's place to look after the children, man, and that's what the scriptures tell you, man. We're gonna get that later. Okay, but yeah, on that women's equality thing, man. That, yeah, like I said, that was set up. Okay, because who gave you so-called equality? The man. Okay, you women didn't give yourself equality. Someone had to give it to you. Unless you could take it, you're not equal. Okay, things have to be given to you, be put on a plate for you to do. Okay, you can't outbox, a male boxer, man. You can't, you have to be given things. You have to, I might play a fight with a woman, but you don't go for out on her because you can't handle that, man. So you sit back a bit, man. But like I said, man, you will not just be in the positions that you're in today, man. Okay. I'm just gonna get into it, man, just to prove to you what I'm saying. Okay. All right. Let's get First Peter's. Chapter 3, verse 5. And it says here, "For after this manner in the old time the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands." Okay, so the righteous women, the holy women, talking about the women of Israel. Okay, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American women, you meant to subject yourself unto your husband. Okay, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's not to say because you do that your man's gonna beat on you every day. That's not saying that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being in subjection to your husband. Okay, because today they'll make it seem like a woman shouldn't be in subjection. Well, the Most High set it up that way for you to go against that is to go against the Most High. Okay, that is the way it was set up. Abraham loved Sarah. Okay, it tells you that in the scriptures. Okay, they lived happily. Okay, just because they're subordinate doesn't mean oh bitch do this, bitch do that, bitch clean my shoes. That's not how it works, man. Okay, yes, if I ask a woman to do something, I expect her to do it, but obviously in this time it doesn't quite work that way. Okay, the white man, like I said, has got into these women's minds that that a man shouldn't be able to tell them shit. But if Abraham told Sarah to do it, she would go and do it. But that's not to say that he was abusing his power. And Abraham had servants as well. Okay, that's what the servants are for. Okay, it tells you in the scripture that Abraham loved Sarah. So take from it what you will, man. Okay, it says verse 6: "Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, calling him Master." Okay, "whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with amazement." Okay, so you Hispanics, Native Americans, and you nigger women, man, you're daughters of Sarah. Okay, so you're meant to be like her, man. Okay, it says, "Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife." Okay, so the man gives a righteous woman honor. Okay, but that if she's righteous, we don't give you no honor if you're not righteous, man. Okay, if you're not a good woman. Okay, as simple as that. You want to feel appreciated, be a good woman then. It says, "as unto the weaker vessel." So the women in the scripture tells you that women are the weaker vessel. Okay, which is evident. You can see that. Okay, women are dainty in comparison to men, and although there may be women out there that are not so dainty, you put them next to a guy of let's say you got them female bodybuilders. Okay, they're pretty strong and probably hand most men's asses to them. The average man, but then that's probably the peak. A woman ain't supposed to look like that, full stop. Ain't supposed to be like that, full stop. But if that's the peak of a just a peak, and you stand next to a male bodybuilder at his peak, man, that woman ain't gonna stand no fucking chance, man. Okay, you compare the peaks of any sport or whatever, man. You put a woman up against a man at the peak of his game, man. The woman ain't nothing in comparison. Okay, she can't deal with that. She ain't on his level. Okay, and that is just how it is supposed to be, man. Okay, men are at a different level to women in every aspect, man. Okay, so whatever a man will do, he'll excel more than the woman, you know, on an equal footing, man. Okay, the man will excel because he's been made that way. Okay, where was I? Yeah, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers not be hindered. Okay, so the scriptures establish that women are of the weaker vessel. Okay, and like I was saying about, you know, comparing. Okay, because, you know, certain things are easier to compare. But like I said, it's not to say a woman can't do certain things. It's just that a man's going to be better at doing it. There's always going to be a man somewhere above her that is better than her. Okay? Because like I said, you got women doing certain things out here. You know, they're making success of whatever they're doing. You know, but guarantee it, there's a man better than her. Okay? Then them women that, you know, the odd women that come up and do anything, okay, that's you know, that's an anomaly, so to speak, man. Okay, that's not commonplace. That doesn't happen very often. Okay, this world is run by men. Okay, this world was created by men. Okay, there ain't no founding mothers, man. All the nations on the planet Earth were created by men. Okay, named after the men that founded those lands. Okay. But, you know, we're going to just compare some stats here, some sports stats quickly, because, you know, that's the easiest thing to bring up to show, okay? But here we've got, it's on Wikipedia, okay? This is track and field records, okay? On one side you got the men's here, you see Usain Bolt and that, okay? So, and then on the other side you can see women, okay? Alright, 100 meters, you know, Usain Bolt has done it in 9.58 seconds, okay? Everyone knows he's the quickest man on the planet, right? You got women's here, Florence Griffith Joyner, okay, 1988. So that was quite a long time ago, man. No one's got close to that time, okay, for a while, right? Over 10 years now. 10:49, okay. Where you might say, oh, that's only a second, but that, you know, the second's a lot in racing, man. Okay, that's like a mile, man. Being a mile behind. Okay, you race Usain Bolt against Florence Griffith Joyner, you know, at their peaks, man. She'll lose every time. Every time. Even if Usain Bolt had a bad start, he'll still beat her, man. Okay, and that is going to be a common trend going down this whole entire list. Okay. And I shouldn't have to go through them all to, you know, for you to see that, you know. Let's see, 1500 meters, 3 minutes 26 seconds, 3 minutes 50 seconds. Okay, so, you know, gaps get larger. Okay, all right. So that's just facts. Okay, you're physically weaker. That's number one. Okay, you're physically weaker. Okay. Alright. You know, people like to, you know, women like to say, oh, you know, because men don't usually cook at home. You know, women cook at home. The perception is that women could cook and men can't. But because we don't cook at home doesn't mean we can't cook. You know what I'm saying? So, but then the question asks, who is the best chefs in the world? Okay, well, you know, type in world best chefs, you can see it up here. Okay, and the majority of the pictures here are men. There's a woman here, just to clarify. Yeah, that is a woman. Okay, but it says here world's best female chef. Okay, so if men and women are so equal, why not just have the best chef? Why do there have to be separate categories for the two?